Hello and welcome to AirgunWeb.com. My name is Rick Utzler and I'm glad you've chosen to spend some time with us as we take a look at the Evanix AR6 shrouded PCP air rifle in .22 caliber. This rifle boasts an impressive potential of up to 60 foot-pounds. To put that into perspective, the RWS 350 Magnum, a very powerful .22 caliber break barrel rifle, does well to get to 24 foot-pounds. Today we'll find out just how close to 60 foot-pounds the Evanix AR6 .22 caliber pre-charged pneumatic air rifle can get. Let's take a close-up look at this rifle.
The Evanix AR6 is a stunning airgun. The high level of design and craftsmanship are immediately noticeable. The rifle comes in an ambidextrous stock that sports nice checkering on the grip and forearm. This version of the AR6 comes with a shrouded barrel that helps reduce shot noise. These big PCP rifles can be very loud, and while I wish it was still a little quieter, I can't imagine how loud it would be without the barrel shroud. The rifle is both single and double action and uses a simple rotary 6-shot cylinder. The large air reservoir under the barrel can hold up to 3,000 psi and yields about 18 shots. I noticed in my tests that the rifle loses about 9 to 12 feet per second between each shot. I did not find a plateau of consistent velocities that I found in other PCPs. However, if you track your shots in practice, you can pretty much guess how the change will affect your point of impact. Now I mounted a Leapers 4-16 by 50 AO MD IR scope to this rifle. I really like Leapers. I found them to bring some of the best value to the table as far as features versus price goes. I chose to mount the scope with a set of 2-piece AccuShot high rings. The rifle is filled via a simple probe that plugs into the front of the rifle's air reservoir. Take your time filling your rifle, as filling too fast can cause damage from excessive heat. The rifle comes with a built-in pressure gauge that was a bit misleading. It shows anything over 150 bar, as in the red. This rifle is designed to take up to 206 bar, closer to 3,000 psi however, so it's okay to push the needle into the red a little bit. The trigger is very stiff even in single action. This is not adjustable. There's no second stage of this trigger, just a stiff short pull.
Let's talk a little bit about performance. Now, there's always a balance between velocity, accuracy, and energy put on the target. The AR6 offers all three, but not in just one pellet. The rifle can shoot the very heavy 32.4 grain EunJin pellets at almost 900 feet per second. The downside is that their accuracy really started to fall apart after 25 yards. Not to worry, however, because this is where the AR6's flexibility takes over. The best pellet in the AR6, in my opinion, was the 21.14 grain Beam & Kodiaks. These delivered less energy but remained accurate out past 100 yards. So here's the deal. At 25 yards and closer, the EunJin pellets deliver moderate accuracy but incredible power, perfect for larger pests. But for every other application, the Kodiaks are the best pellet to use. Here are some numbers. Let's start with the EunJin pointed pellets. They're 32.4 grain, and we got a high of 899 feet per second, a low of 857 feet per second, an average of 878 feet per second, with an extreme spread of 42 feet per second, and the standard deviation of 14.94 feet per second. Our average energy was 55.47 foot-pounds, and the max energy we were able to achieve was 58.16 foot-pounds. We didn't get the full 60 foot-pounds, but we only needed another 15 feet per second to get there. Now, I don't tweak these rifles before I test them. These are out-of-the-box results. So I wonder if there's a way to get that extra 15 feet per second so we can hit that 60 foot-pounds mark. Now, our most accurate pellet was the Beam & Kodiak, and they weigh in at 21.14 grains. We got a high of 988 feet per second, a low of 934 feet per second, an average of 962 feet per second, with an extreme spread of 54 feet per second and a standard deviation of 20 feet per second. Our average energy was 43.41 foot-pounds, and our max energy with that pellet was 45.83 foot-pounds. Now let's talk about filling, loading, shooting, and accuracy. The AR6 is a standard pre-charged rifle that operates at a max of 3,000 psi. The manual and the integrated meter were a little confusing at first because the meter goes from green to red at 150 bar, approximately 2175 psi. But the manual says that you can go all the way to 3,000 psi, which is closer to 206 bar. Now, I'm cautious about taking things into the red, so I went ahead and called the techs at Pyramid Air and got the okay to make sure that we could go all the way to that 3,000 psi. They said it was fine, so we did all our testing at the 3,000 psi. This rifle fills by using a high pressure source like a scuba tank or a hand pump. I use a scuba tank in this fill kit that I got from Pyramid Air some time ago. I convert all my fittings, the AR uses a simple probe, to be compatible with the quick release Foster connection. This makes it quick and easy to fill any of my pre-charged rifle from the same tank and adapter. The AR6 uses a simple 6-shot rotary cylinder that's very handy. You simply load the pellets skirt first in the front of the cylinder. They go like this. Now, unlike the magazine for the Marauder, the AR6's cylinder allows for longer pellets like the Polymags or the EunJins, and it makes the AR6 a very flexible rifle. Shooting the AR6 is very straightforward. It's double action and single action. The pull weight on the double action is really off the chart, so I did all of our tests using single action. The trigger is very stiff because of the powerful hammer spring, which is necessary to achieve the high volume of air needed to reach for that 60 foot-pounds target. It's not adjustable, and it takes a good bit of practice to get used to. For our tests, we mounted a Leapers 4-16 by 50 AO MD IR scope. This scope really performed wonderfully well at all ranges. Leapers really continues to be a favorite product of mine. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Now, you may never hear me say this again, so please take note. There are times when accuracy is relative. When you consider most airguns need pinpoint accuracy to get clean kills, the AR6 is more like shooting a howitzer. If you hit game with close to 60 foot-pounds, it's going down. Yes, the Beam and Kodiaks give us the best groups, but there's something to be said about putting 58 foot-pounds on a target inside 25 yards. The accuracy difference is not all that great, and when you need the extra energy, it's nice to know that you have it. Now, when you need to reach out past 25 yards, then the Kodiaks are going to be your best friend. Just as a side note, if you're just shooting for fun and max power is not the issue, consider filling the rifle to just 150 bar and shooting the Kodiaks. You'll get 12 to 18 shots per fill, and you'll get more fills from your scuba tank because you're not trying to push to that 3,000 psi each time. And you always have the option of going to 3,000 psi when you need it. Let's take a look at the scorecard. Here are my cons on the AR6. It's not as accurate as I would have liked, and it's a little louder than I would have liked. Even with the barrel shroud, it's over 100 dB. The difference between the Marauder in 22 cal and the AR6 in 22 cal is very, very noticeable. This may not be a big deal to some, but if you're getting this to shoot in your backyard and you have picky neighbors, consider something else. Now here are the pros for the AR6. It has tremendous power. It has easy loading of pellets and easy cycling of the cylinder. It's lighter than I expected, and it's quieter than other guns in its class, like the Air Force Condor in 22 cal or the RWS Dominator. I've not tested anything like the AR6 to date. So if you're looking for maximum power out of an off-the-shelf product, then you may have just found what you're looking for. I want to take just a moment and thank the folks at Pyramid Air for sending us this rifle and for sponsoring this review. When you're looking for your next air rifle or your next batch of supplies, go ahead and point your browser to www.pyramidair.com. They've been an incredible group of folks to work with, and they really stand behind their products and their customers. Until next time, this is Rick Utzer with airgunweb.com. Thanks for spending some time with us today.